Seven Family Chats. I'm Jeanette, and I am joined by Amanda,
Hello.
Eve,
Hi.
and Shelby.
Hi.
Tonight we're going to be talking about episodes 4 of Station 19 and Grey's Anatomy, which have been my favorite episodes so far, I think. This season, anyways.
Yeah, I feel like this episode of Grey's was the most Grey's-like episode we've seen in a while.
I agree. It was good. It was really good.
I can almost say that about the last one too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I did say that about the last one, but now this one I think is even more Grey's-like.
I know, and I'm loving it because, well, like I think we've said every single podcast, this is probably going to be the last season.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm okay with that if it's going to go out like this.
Yeah.
It feels like Grey's Anatomy. We got on-call scenes, we got elevator scenes, we have the residents and the interns all racing and fighting with each other
Mm-hmm.
to win surgeries. It all just feels
The supply room hookup. It's great.
yes.
I was so excited.
I've missed Addison too. I love seeing her, and she's
Yeah.
just, I don't know, like it's weird, but like I know that the show's not like supposed to be about her, but she brings something to the show.
Yeah, she does. I mean, that's why she got her own. That's why she had private practice, because she just had that presence on the screen. I don't know what it was about her.
And was this her last episode on? It was just supposed to be 2 this season, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they've said.
Yeah.
So this week would have been her last week. Sad.
I know, it's a bummer.
No. I wish she would just stay around. Come on.
Yeah.
But I get it. She has a husband and child.
I know.
Just move them all to Seattle. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Can't be that hard to pick up and move your entire life to, a different state. Come on.
She has before.
Mm-hmm. I was hoping, I know they've said it's only gonna be 2 episodes, but they kind of acted like her patient, I don't know. Well, I guess, did it get resolved by the end that everything was going to be okay then and she won't need her anymore?
I think so. I think she was going to have the team she put in place.
Just watch her.
I was a little confused about that at first because she and Amelia were talking about like all these issues that were going on with the patient and they were really worried about her. And then she woke up and Addison was like, "You're still in the clinical trial." And she was crying tears of joy. And I was like, is Addison daydreaming or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. It felt kind of weird, but I guess she's good now. I don't know.
I think she is.
I'm glad that she's good, but I was just confused because they spent most of the episode trying to figure out what was wrong with her. It's like, well, I guess she's better now.
Yeah. I think she'll be fine. I think that was the biggest hump. Really, if Addison's not going to come back, I can't see them stretching that patient case, whatever you want to call it, along.
We did ask for happy endings for everyone, so there we go.
Yeah, it's exactly what we need. I need all happy endings.
Unicorns and rainbows, that's all we want.
Speaking of unicorns and rainbows, who am I thinking of right now?
I'm not sure, honestly. I'm waiting to see where you're going with this.
Oh man. It's gone.
Okay.
Oh man.
Oh no.
Perez. Unicorns and rainbows are always good.
I love Perez. I love Levi and Nico right
Perez
now.
reminds me of unicorns and rainbows.
I love Perez. I still wish we would get more screen time with him.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I see him, I'm like, oh yay. And then like he'll be like in one thing and then I don't see him for the rest of the episode. And I'm like, man, you guys teased me up front and then nothing.
Like I like Helm and Levi, but I want to see more Perez.
While we're talking about interns, we could talk about Richard's new innovative
The Weber method.
The Weber method. Yeah.
Weber method. I keep
It
wanting to say the
worked.
Weber effect, but I'm like, it's not an effect.
Yeah. I thought that was so cool, like that he thought of that.
Yeah. And I hope it's a success, because I would like something like to be named after,
Yeah.
Richard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that Meredith is on board with it makes me, I mean, if it was just Richard on board with it, I'd be a little skeptical.
Yeah.
But since Meredith thinks it's a good idea, I think it is.
Yeah.
Bailey still
Trust her.
doesn't like it.
Well, Bailey's just, I mean, I think that's, I mean, she's
She's just
chief of
Bailey.
surgery. She's got to be worried about that kind of stuff, so.
Yeah. And she's OCD, and that's,
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably a struggle for her to
Yeah.
deal with that.
I
And
think
I
they
was
sort
so
of,
mad that it was Helm that had the one. I felt so bad.
or Helm. I was actually I was actually a little mad at Bailey at how hard she was on her. And then I know she softened up at the end and kind of said some stuff. But when she came into that OR, I was like, oh my gosh, like poor Helm.
Well, I
So
guess
now
when
she-
you're an attending and you walk into an OR and you see that a resident screwed up and
I know.
a patient's life is at risk, she probably went into like panic mode and was like, I have to fix this, get out of my way.
Yeah.
I think that's
But
exactly
I
what
like
happened.
I liked her little spiel to her at the end of the episode. And she was
Yeah.
like, good, you should feel bad. I was like, come on, Bailey. But then it got better. So I was like, okay, that's a good speech.
When she said that even Meredith Grey has made those mistakes, that kind of, because
Yeah.
Helm thinks she's Superwoman,
Oh god, yeah, when she said that, I was like, oh boy, has Gray made mistakes. I'm in season 3. She's
Yeah.
making lots of mistakes.
Yeah. But Levi, on the other hand, he kicked butt. And I was so excited.
Yes. And he did too.
Hmm.
That's actually the one I thought was gonna mess up. I thought he was like gonna get too cocky and like,
Yeah.
mess one of them up.
Yeah.
And then he went through and was like, oh my gosh.
And then Weber took his moment. He's like, it was like thanking him for like the opportunity. And then Richard just like cut in. He was like, this is how it's done. I'm like, Richard, give Levi his moment.
I know.
He needs to
I
thank
was
the Academy and everything.
That
I was
Weber
so proud of him because, like, the way that they were going, I was really afraid that he was going to be another George, like the 007 thing, because, like, he's always been, like, the butt of everyone's joke.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that he's, like, turning out to be, like, the hero of all of them,
Yeah.
like, as far as the interns go.
Definitely. Me too. I was scared. Well, I was scared like the very first episode whenever they, try to make him to be like not up to par and messing
Mhm.
up and horrible. And I was like, oh, I'm taking that very personally right now.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I like seeing them like all like kick butt. And I loved like when Addison was like, they're not that far off, Richard. Like, why did you make this sound like a catastrophe?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because that makes you just be like, okay, because I trust Addison, and
Oh yeah.
Addison's going to expect their residents to be
Hmm.
where they're supposed to be. I think that other plastic surgeon just has a plastic surgeon ego.
Hmm. Oh, definitely.
She reminds me a lot of Mark.
Hmm. Sure.
So
With
I
the
think-
bone dry lattes, is that what he always did? Because that's because he just showed up where I'm watching, and then Rev was just like, what does that even mean? I'm like, you've gotten him like 3 lattes so far and you don't know what that means.
no, I don't even know what that means. What is
Yeah,
it?
to be fair, I don't know what that means either.
No,
Maureen's
neither.
the coffee person, maybe she knows.
Bone dry latte. Never heard of it.
Cappuccino or like whatever the drink was, like bone dry. I'm like, it's coffee. How dry can you make, liquid?
Does it
No.
maybe mean like with no milk would mean black though? I don't know. Like, I don't know.
What?
Who knows? We'll have to Google that.
Oh, are you looking it up?
I'm sure she is.
According to Starbucks, bone dry means no steamed milk at all.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
So why doesn't he just say that?
Because that's not what it's called. It's
Called
a
bone dry.
one. Yeah. That sounds so much cooler than no steamed milk, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, now we all know.
That's kind of what I
Top
guessed. I don't
salt.
know.
Now
And
we
I
know
don't drink
what
coffee.
Mark drank. Um, speaking of kind of back then, I was where I'm at right now in season 6, when it's like Owen and Christina are like hot and heavy right now.
Mhm.
It just reminded me of Owen now, and Teddy's fighting for him all the way back then. It's right when
Yeah.
Christina was like, just take him.
Right.
Oh,
So what about Owen and
yeah.
the vet? I was really hoping that storyline would turn out differently.
I felt so bad.
I do too.
I felt like that's where they were going to go with it. I wasn't shocked.
I mean, I wasn't shocked that the guy died. I expected that. It was the way that other guy reacted to Owen at
Yeah.
that point but I wonder if this is, I mean, maybe Owen's gonna go and fight for this and like make it up to him. I don't know. I wonder if this will become like something gets really invested in from here on out.
Yeah, I hope it's not the end of that that vet story,
Mhm.
the guy that he was trying to help, because I felt like Owen was really getting through to him.
No, I think that was just the basis. I think that will be kind of Owen's storyline for this season.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
I think Owen needs to get involved into something other than himself.
Yeah, he needs a good
I know that you
storyline.
love Owen, but he's kind of self-absorbed a little bit. Like he's all about like Teddy and the kids, and which isn't necessarily a bad thing as a dad, but like I think this will be good to get his attention onto something different.
Yeah, because I don't think he's self-absorbed, but I don't think they've ever given him material to work off other than his relationships. So it'd be nice to
Yeah.
see him do something else.
Fight for something
Mhm.
other than a woman.
Yeah,
It's always just
Yeah,
been
'cause-
love interest with him. So seeing him actually fight for something
mhm.
that is meaningful to his character, like the VA.
Yeah.
and, I think that's
And
really,
he's a fighter.
yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's great. I love this storyline. I hope we get to see it out.
hmm I loved it even at the end when he asked Hayes to go get a beer. Like, I wish they had shown that, because I was like, oh man, if we see Joe's, I was gonna be real excited. Which I know he didn't, but that's something else we hardly saw, like them just hanging out, like not at the hospital, like
Yeah.
just being friends.
We never see
Didn't
that.
Joe's close down, or am I thinking of something different?
Well, they had that accident where like the car
Yeah.
went through the bar. I don't know. They haven't really had any scenes in the bar in a while though.
Yeah.
And they need to bring back Joe.
I like Joe.
I think, well, they were just in the bar for Teddy and Owen's wedding,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, they were
Oh,
there.
that's right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
but Joe wasn't there. And I think if Joe was in any episode, I think it would have been that one,
Probably.
because it was just the Grey's Anatomy cast in that bar. I think they would have been, and they like panned out to where you can see behind the bar and the bartenders and stuff. So that would have been the perfect place to put them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like early on in Grey's, like if this is gonna be the last season and they're trying to like reflect back, like mirror kind of the earlier seasons, like that's all that Mare and like that class did was after
Mhm.
work they went and got drunk basically.
Yeah.
And did reckless stuff.
Like Joe was a big part of like everyone's lives. Like he knew everything. Like everybody was talking to Joe about what
Mhm.
was going on in their lives. So
Yeah.
And I'd completely forgotten that Joe was such a big character until I went back and rewatched. I was like, oh, that's right, it's Joe.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
miss Joe.
So hopefully we see him again.
Hopefully. So my mind just went here, and that's fine. We can switch over. But the Station 19 role playing,
Oh my god.
Oh gosh, that was life.
I was laughing so hard.
Me too. Like, I was watching it one morning and David was still getting ready for work. He said, "What are you watching?" I'm like, you wouldn't think this is funny. But I mean, I was like dying. And it was Vic and Travis's face when Diane calls them up there. It was just like,
Yes.
oh.
Travis's
that made me
look
laugh
of
so
like,
hard.
oh crap. I think that was my favorite part, was the look on Travis's face where
Mhm.
he's like, this is not going to end well.
I know. I loved all that. Ooh.
I mean, they
Oh
were
my gosh.
they were going at it. I mean, like they really got into it. And I loved it because like Robert started it. And then Andy, like, she was like, okay, we're doing this. And she like gave it right back.
He's like, hey, Roberto.
Diane kept trying to interject and they just kept going. I'm like, okay. It was so funny. And then after that, didn't they bring up Ruiz and Vic? And of course they had to be silly. And she was like, okay, so now you guys are an item too. Like,
I do have something to say about that though,
yeah.
is that until they said, oh, so these people are a thing too, I was like, oh yeah, they're together. That's right. I keep forgetting that Vic and Ruiz are a thing.
It's because I don't want him to be, I don't think. I love him.
They're
like,
not-
I have nothing against him.
Yeah, I love both of them. I just don't think they belong. Like, I don't know. They're a weird couple. I don't think they belong together at all.
It was so fast. I feel like they threw them together.
That's because we all know Vic's supposed to be with Dean.
Yeah, definitely. As long as he doesn't die next week, right?
No.
I have a
just
new
saying.
theory.
I'm
Don't
just
put
saying.
that out there, Jeanette.
Somebody
I
on
have a
TikTok
new
put it out
theory.
there.
What's
is
your theory?
So I was watching a TikTok with that Harley girl or whatever.
Yeah.
She thinks that it's gonna be Karina's girlfriend or wife or whatever.
No.
Because in the preview, Karina's in one of those yellow trauma gowns with a hoodie on, and she's not in pink scrubs. And like she's saying that basically, like, it seems like maybe like she went in there like to help her girlfriend, and they told her like basically like you can't be here because you're family or whatever.
But she also might be just jumping in because if we've got 2 explosions, it may be like all doctors like are helping out.
Like all hands on deck kind of deal.
Maybe. I mean, they better not do that to Karina. Like,
Yeah,
that
I don't know,
girl's
because-
been through way too much.
Well,
Because
you
they
know-
were saying, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Shelby. You were talking.
Before let's for the audience here listening, in case you all don't know what we're talking about and you're super confused, go check out the preview for next week because I hadn't watched it until you all started talking about this. So it's got us scared, like someone's gonna die. So here we are trying to figure out who it is.
So what that Harley girl was saying is she doesn't think that Karina's wife is the one that dies. She just thinks that she goes through like a traumatic experience and maybe that will make her want to have kids. I don't watch Station 19, so I didn't fully understand that part of it, but that's what her theory was.
It's a decent theory.
At first I thought, okay, it's going to be a Station 19 person because, they say, because it's an explosion, they would be the ones on site. But then someone on TikTok made me realize that, like, which is still, I guess, could be that since they say there's another explosion, it's like we think that the Station 19 episode is going to be the first explosion, dealing with all that. But then the second explosion is going to happen on Grey's, which means it may be one of their characters. I don't know. Who knows? But
I can't justify them killing off someone in Grey's though, especially if this is the last season. Why would they do that?
why would they do any of this they've done in the past?
But we
I don't
all
know.
know how misleading Grey's and Station 19 promos are. So it's rarely ever what we predict it could be or what
Okay.
they seem to show it is.
Is this weird? But I don't want anyone to die. But if you've got me this hyped up with this preview and then it's like something stupid, I feel like I'm going to also be upset. You know what? I mean,
A
I'm going to
lose-lose situation for Jeanette.
right? I mean, it's,
Well,
yeah.
the preview says someone doesn't make it out alive, so I think someone is gonna die.
But I mean, I'm saying, like, what if it's somebody dumb, like just a patient that we don't know anything about? I mean, like, it better not be. But then again, I don't
think
want it
so.
to be somebody special either. I don't know. I'm
They
torn.
wouldn't make a big deal about
Mhm.
someone won't make it out alive if it was just a patient that we met in that episode.
No, it's good. I feel like it's going to be a Station 19 person.
I think it's going to be Robert.
Oh, I hope not.
Oh gosh.
Of the Station 19 people, that's the only person I can think of that I don't know, unless it's Ruiz. But then again, do we really care enough about him for that to be a big deal?
He was actually my first thought, but I thought the exact same thing. I was like, well, would he have that big of a,
Impact.
I'm just gonna
yes,
say
thank
it
you.
cannot be Travis and it cannot be Jack. I
It
can
can't be
live-
Travis because I might
anyone
actually
else.
quit. I might actually quit watching the show if it's Travis.
I think I will. If
I
either
mean,
one of
I
those.
say that now, but I probably won't. But I will be very, very mad every day when I watch
No,
it.
I might. I mean, like I have no other crushes on these shows other than Jack, and Travis is just. I mean, he's like the best person in the entire world, so I can't lose him either. I'll quit.
We
I
told
know.
Krista, don't kill anyone we love.
It'll
and
be
she
down to you three on the podcast. I'll be done.
couldn't even do that.
I'm trying
Anyway.
to think.
I don't know. I mean, it won't be Ben, will it? Surely not.
A
I
lot of
hope
people
not.
keep saying Ben. I don't think it will be Ben.
I have a hard time believing it's Ben because he's the one, like he's the purpose of the spinoff anyway. So
It might be Maya, guys. It could be.
That would be like killing off Mare. Like killing off Ben would be like equivalent
Yeah.
of killing off Mare, basically.
I mean,
Well-
but he's also been on the show for a very long time. He might
And
be done.
he's the reason that they went to that, but Ben is definitely not the focus of Station 19.
No, definitely not. I sometimes forget he's on there, to be honest.
Exactly. They don't
I
show
mean,
him
he-
nearly enough.
definitely was the vehicle that created Station 19, but he's definitely not the prime focus.
No, Andy's our prime focus.
I'd hate to think they would do that to Bailey, though. Could you imagine? She'd spiral big time.
And I would be really mad if they like killed Ben and then like ended Grey's without me like knowing Bailey was okay. Does
Mhm.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you
Mhm.
can't
Good.
like
We love Bailey. Good things need to happen for Bailey.
The problem is I love
Scares me.
everyone on these shows, and I'm not really comfortable with losing anybody.
I
So-
think I think we just need to expect to be really, really sad and angry.
I can't have another DeLuca night. Me and Amanda, we cannot handle it.
no,
That was rough.
I can't do that. I mean,
was
it's been too close together. We can't do that again right now.
I hope we get to see, because we've been seeing pretty much nearly every episode of Station 19 so far, some kind of
Mhm.
call that they're going on with this program. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more calls like this.
Yeah, because what even last week, I don't think it was necessarily a call, but like when they went to help that mother and son out, there was obviously something because they had that kid was also another one. He had to be explained exactly what was going on, and I mean there was different steps that needed to be taken to keep him calm and to like make it work. And Dean was the one that recognized that and helped everyone learn what to do here to help him. So. And so we were talking about Jack. What about the conversation Jack had with Andy? I kind of agreed with him, but I was also like, ooh, when he said that she was like her mother.
Can you remind me what that conversation was? Because I don't recall that.
They were sitting out there and she was talking about, I think about her and Robert. And he was like, I'm going to say something, you're not going to like it. And he basically told her that because every time there's a problem, what she does is she just runs. And he compared her to her mother in that regard. And I think he wasn't wrong, but
It came off really harsh, but I mean,
Yeah.
he wasn't wrong.
yeah. And I think Andy even admitted that later to Diane that she kind of agreed with him, but at first, I'm sure, I don't think it's to the extent of what her mother was like. But I mean, look at when the show starts, Jack proposes. She just immediately, like, there's no discussion or anything. She just dumps him, ends it. Every time her and Ryan got close, it didn't work out. And then, I mean, so it's like, and what happened, like Robert said, what happened between them should have been a discussion and should have been an argument, not divorce papers. So,
Yeah. Well,
It's like her go-to. It's like things are getting scary, or I don't
Mhm.
know how to do this, and then she runs.
yeah.
I mean, that was a very valid point.
Yeah, it was. And I almost felt like at the end that she was going to tell Robert that maybe she made a mistake, and then he handed her the papers and said he had signed them. And I was like, no, because I think she was going to say something.
Like, no, wrong choice, Robert. That's not what you were supposed to do.
But then
I
again,
definitely
how's he
thought she
supposed
was
to
going to
know?
say something.
I think she was. But he did. I mean, how's he supposed to know, you know? So I do think that maybe next week, or not next week, but when it comes back, even if he's not, and even if he doesn't die or anything like that, I think something will happen to sort of make them admit that they're not done yet. I don't know. I hope so.
I
I
have a
need
lot
you
of
to
hope
ask
for it.
better questions. Is that what Addison kept saying to Amelia? I need you to ask better questions. I was like, oh,
yeah.
thanks, Addison. Because that was very like, you know, early seasons Addison, because she did say stuff like that.
She
Oh,
was
yeah.
really funny.
I
And, you know,
love the spiciness coming out of her with like the whole, no, I'm Dr. Addison Forms Montgomery. I'm not Addie.
mhm,
And you're
And you're
Dr.
Dr.
Shepherd.
Shepherd.
yep.
But then like the fact that like she turned it off, then like when they were waiting for like the scans or whatever, and she turned it off and Amelia and her had that heart to heart, that
Yeah.
was very like sister-in-law type thing too. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
Yeah, I love that heart to heart because I think that what they talked about, it's a really big thing that did happen to a lot of couples in
mhm,
real life during COVID.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
And part of me was hoping that that would, I mean, I don't know. I understand that Amelia doesn't want to marry Link. We talk about this every week, and I understand that he does. But at the same time, like, things were good. So I don't know why it has to be just over. Like, if you don't want to marry him, fine, you don't want to marry him. But why does it have to be like over already?
I don't think she wants it to be over. I think he's he wants to be married,
Yeah.
and I mean, that's the sense I'm getting. He wants to be married. So it's with him, I feel like it's married or nothing.
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't like though about, well, the one thing I did like about what Amelia said, let's start with positive first. She was talking about how like it made her want to do drugs, but she didn't do it because she was going to the meetings, and like she explained like how hard it was about doing the Zoom meetings versus actually going to a meeting and being accountable, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that that means that the whole like her being off the wagon is off the table.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. I don't think it's going to happen anymore.
I really hope it doesn't, because I was really hoping that wouldn't. But the one thing I didn't like though about her whole thing, she was saying, I forget the wordage that she used, but like she was basically saying that like Link was kind of like gaslighting her to want to marry him, like trying to like
Yeah.
manipulate him and stuff.
Mhm.
And I don't think that that's the case. I don't
No.
see him as manipulative at all.
That's
But
what,
Addison called her out super fast on it.
yeah.
And she's like, okay, well, no. And so I liked that Addison was like, but was he?
Yeah.
But was he?
Yeah, because that upset me too at first. I was like, I remember, I think I talked to like my screen when it happened. I was like, hold on now. Link is not a gaslighter. I was getting really upset. And then Addison's like, did he seem like the gaslighting type before? And she was like, no. So Addison's like, okay,
Yeah.
so it's not the case.
Wanting to marry someone and being persistent is different than gaslighting.
Well, and when he was being persistent, like she says she kept telling him no. I don't feel like she was super clear. She kept saying like when he proposed that other time, it wasn't the right time. Like, I don't think she was super clear in saying like, I don't ever want to get married. Like,
She gave the impression, I feel like she gave him the impression, because this is the impression that I got,
mhm,
was that it wasn't the right time. I don't want
Right.
to be married right now.
right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, Link asked again because he thought that, okay, now this is the right time. It's like, oh
Yeah.
no, you don't want to be married.
I don't think he should have proposed at Maggie's wedding.
With the kid, 4 different rings.
No, I didn't agree with that at the time. The entire time he's proposing, I had my head in my hands going, no, 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 no.
Oh yeah, me too, because I knew she was going to say no. I was
Yeah.
like, no, this is not ending well, and this is really, really scary to watch. Like this, I think that was one of the scariest scenes I've seen on Grey's Anatomy. Was
should
him
have
standing there with
known.
4 rings.
He should have known that that wasn't Amelia. And that's the thing. Like me, I would think that was super adorable and I would love it. But like not everyone would love something like that. And he probably should have
Jeanette
figured
thinks
that
it's
out.
cute. Amelia
I
thought
thought
it was
yeah. I would have loved it for me. But
See, like for me, the whole 4 rings thing wasn't really an issue. My issue was that it was at Maggie's wedding, and that was supposed to be Maggie's day.
Maggie, I mean, that depends on if you've talked to the bride, which we don't know if he did or not. I mean, obviously he talked to someone because he got the kids involved. So I don't know if they didn't care. Like I wouldn't care if someone did that on my wedding day. Like it's fine.
I would.
I mean, I wouldn't care. I mean, like I'm already married. I'm happy. I'd be happy to share my happiness with everybody.
You guys are better people than me, apparently.
I was not a bridezilla, not at all. So.
This is my day, and that's it.
Man.
It was at the end of it though. The reception, what Maggie and I mean, everybody was already leaving to go back to the hospital and do surgery. So
Yeah.
That's true. I
it was
mean,
over.
I don't know. It's not like he was doing it when they were saying I do or anything like that.
Exactly.
And before you say I do, I want to propose to Amelia.
Just put it in their vows.
Oh, super funny.
Oh no.
I like Link though, and I like I'm still liking his like relationship with Joe and everything. Like I really hope that they keep them just friends. I know that there's theories that they thought that people thought that like they were going to sleep together or whatever and mess that up. But I'm loving that they're kind of co-parenting together and like figuring out the whole baby thing, single parent baby thing together.
Yeah.
Mhm. I am too.
Can we talk about Joe
Yes.
in the
Yes.
parking? What was it? She was on the bench. Like, it's okay, we'll go home. As soon as I find the energy to walk to the car, which will probably be tomorrow, as she's eating like as she's dumping like Luna's snacks into her mouth. I was like, that is such a real like new mommy moment.
So relatable. Yeah.
And I love the change in her. Like at the beginning, she was kind of like really like, oh, I can't do this, like blah blah blah. But then near the end, she was actually giving advice to a new mother.
Mhm.
Like that whole 360, like you can tell like just the day like completely changed her mindset on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. By
Yeah,
the
her with
way,
that.
I have to bring up the new mother this episode, the lady who had
Oh my gosh.
who checked out the robot baby this time.
I didn't even pay attention to it.
I didn't either.
That's because
I was still focused on the idiot boyfriend who didn't
Oh
feel
my
like she was pregnant. I was like, but like when she was like talking about how like I'm gonna be all alone, I'm like, honey, I think you're better off alone than with that guy.
I laughed so hard when he was like, I thought you were just, and Joe was like, okay, why don't you go get those ice? I mean, she ushered him out like, sir, that is not the right thing to say. That is not going to go over well. And that
she
poor
looked-
girl,
Yeah,
Like,
she was like,
she-
I thought he was okay with it. He didn't say anything.
right?
You
I
guys
mean,
didn't have a discussion ever?
I guess she just thought he knew. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
It's
there's
so awkward.
okay. They met on a dating site, and there's weirdos that are into pregnant girls. So she might have just thought it was his thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Oh my
awkward.
gosh.
I felt
That was
bad for her,
hilarious.
but
I
Then the
laughed.
fact that he left.
I know. I thought he was like gonna come back or something.
they've only been together like a month, so I don't know. In some regards, I'm like, I can't blame him. Like, I mean,
And then he thought it was his.
like that's stupid. Yeah.
Like, no, lady, this guy's an idiot. You don't want him anywhere near
Yeah.
that baby, trust me.
Oh, he's like, I live in a studio apartment.
Right. I mean, I don't know. But
Ugh,
Joe rocked it out. And I loved like Karina kind of giving her props for how good she did too. So
I know. I love
He
that.
cracked me up with that, with like how Joe was holding her hand and Karina was like, Joe, you're an OB. You're not here to hold your hand. But then she was up there holding her hand while Joe was doing whatever.
I thought the same thing. I was like, Karina, like you're holding her hand.
Yeah.
I did love that one line where she said, like when she was giving her whole speech to the new mom about how, you can do this. And she said, some days you're going to look around and wonder who the heck is this baby's mother, because it can't be me.
I want you to know, I mean, 5 and 10 years in, I still wonder this at times.
Yes.
When it's one of those days, you're like, who is your parent? I know it's not me. It's not me. Well, I guess, I don't know. We need to talk about Joe. And I know we've got Hayes and Megan, but I still feel chemistry with Joe and Hayes too. Shelby, you said you did too, right? Is anyone else? Like, I feel it with both of them.
I don't really
I felt
feel
it
it
with
with
Megan too, but yes.
Yeah,
I felt it with Megan. I didn't feel it with Joe.
I did.
Yeah, I'm with Amanda. I don't feel any kind of chemistry between Joe and Hayes. I think it's more there with Hayes and Megan.
Maybe it's
That
because
might
I
be
don't
just
like
because I really don't want it.
Megan as much. So maybe that's why I'm like, meh. It's okay, I guess.
For
But
Megan be with Hayes. I just
Well,
feel like those two would kind of match each other's energies because Hayes not like he's kind of more of like a serious, quiet type.
yeah,
And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like him and Megan would vibe better than Joe. Joe, I feel, is maybe a little too immature for Hayes.
Joe's super young though. Like, I don't know. I might be wrong with this, but like for some reason in my head, I think that Joe's like my age and Hayes is like in his 40s.
well, I don't think if he's in his 40s, he's like barely 40 because he's my age and the actor is.
Joe has to be in her early 30s now.
Because she's
Because,
already,
I mean, in the character, because I mean, she's already been an attending.
mhm.
Okay, so maybe it's not as bad as what I think it is then.
No,
I think it's no different than the age gap between her and Alex. I think
Yeah.
it's the same.
Okay.
I don't think it's too bad.
Because Alex and Justin Chambers is older than Richard Flood, but I think the characters are supposed to be about the same age.
I can see that. But Hayes has a lot older children too.
Yeah.
I think that's why I thought he was older, because he
Yeah.
has like teenagers, doesn't he?
Yeah. But I could have teenagers. I mean, realistically. So
But
don't,
I
thank
think
God.
the one thing with Hayes though, after what happened with his kids meeting there, I can't really see him dating again. For now at least.
Yeah. I mean, I
Not for
want him
now.
to, but at the same time, like if you use that as your storyline as to why him and Meredith aren't together, like that's gonna seem weird if he jumps into a relationship with someone else. But he's one of our only single guys. I mean, we gotta have him do something. I mean, do we have any other
What's gonna
single
happen?
men? I don't think we do.
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Because Richard's married to that
I
witch.
guess Link is single now, I guess.
You do not like Catherine, do you?
What?
She doesn't like Catherine.
No.
I don't
See,
get it.
that-
I like her.
That's confusing to me because usually Shelby and I are on the same page with the characters we like and don't like. So I was really surprised when I found out you don't like Catherine.
I was like cringing the whole time when they were talking about their sex life.
The look, speaking of that, the look on Bailey's face cracked me up.
I know. I loved it.
But I
Bailey
loved it.
always has the best faces.
I mean, I loved that they talked about it though, because I think it's just funny that, whenever they're empty nesters, why not,
I mean,
Enjoy
I thought it
yourself.
was funny. Like, yes, I thought it was funny, but I hate Catherine. So I was like, who would want to do that to her?
Why do you hate her?
She gets on my nerves. And she's very, when Richard was sick and stuff, I thought that she was very selfish.
Wasn't he a jerk to her before that?
he was tweaking out with whatever he had going on.
Oh yeah, the iron
The
poisoning.
Yeah.
The
Didn't
cobalt
something
poisoning.
Him.
But didn't something happen prior to him getting sick, which is the reason they were having issues anyways?
Mhm.
Yeah, with that girl.
He went
Catherine-
behind her. He went behind.
Catherine was accusing him of cheating on her with what's her face, and he wasn't even cheating on her.
No, but there was something else. He went behind her back and did something, right? I don't know. There was something. There was a reason, because I remember on this, I was a little bit on her side with the whole situation.
No, see, to me, Richard does no wrong. I don't even want to talk about it.
Shelby is
I don't want you to
so
sway my decision.
Shelby's mind is
Catherine.
set.
If you get
You're
on, I
going
mean,
to change your mind.
if you do one thing to make Shelby mad, she is never forgiving you. Just so you know,
Exactly.
never.
Me and my dad were talking about that today, actually.
That's the Scorpio in her, because my mother's the same way.
So do we want to talk about Megan and Farouk?
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought that was shady.
Yes.
What was shady?
She was acting shady. I thought she was acting shady. When she first came in the hospital, it was like, I know this kid who blah, 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 blah. And she didn't
Right.
want to tell him his name. And then she like snuck him into the hospital. And I don't know, it didn't sit right with me. It was weird.
Well, she explained that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't want Owen to worry, I guess.
She didn't
but-
want Owen to worry, and she didn't want like Case to say anything because he would have known.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I-
she was trying to feel out what the issue was before she like told him it was her kid.
I suspected from the beginning that she was talking about Farouk.
Mhm.
She wanted his opinion as a stranger and
Right.
not as an opinion like, hey, tell me there's something wrong with my kid. She just
Yeah.
wanted his, I can't think of the word right now, like his just honest,
Like unbiased.
unbiased, thank you, his unbiased opinion on it. That's how I took it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because from the jump, she was like, talk to me like a doctor, not like a patient. And
Mhm.
Mhm.
so I think deep down she knew that something kind of serious was wrong, but she might have been in denial a little bit.
Well, she knew she just needed a second opinion because, you know, as a mom, like it's hard to make those diagnoses and stuff yourself. I mean, you're going to want to, she needed someone who wasn't close to it to tell her she was right here.
Yeah.
But she knew. I mean,
Mhm.
the preview next week has me nervous. I mean, I like to think that what she's crying about in the preview is just that maybe whoever dies is someone that she loses on the table. Because I'm like, y'all better leave this kid alone. Like,
Or maybe she's having a panic attack over the
maybe.
bomb thing because you know
That's
she was a POW for a long time. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it
true. I
could
didn't
bring
think of
back stuff from, because even Teddy had that PTSD whole like spiel thing. It could bring back for Megan, Teddy, and Hunt. Really.
Yeah, that's true.
That could it could trigger any of them.
Hmm.
So we'll
That's
definitely have to watch out for that. Oh, I'm not looking forward to this episode. I am, and I'm not.
well, I'm glad we have 2 weeks to
Sit
And
here and stir
yeah.
over it.
oh yeah, that's true too.
I kind of wish I could watch live and we could just all like watch it together and go through it together.
You can watch on the abc.com.
Really?
Yeah.
That's how I watched.
I think the three of you can watch together.
Oh yeah, Eve. You're gonna need to
Mhm.
fly in to somewhere in Eastern or Central time for the night. So you can watch with
I
us.
think no, Amanda's closest because geography. Yeah.
Well, we can send you a warning if you want us to.
I
That's
don't
what
want
you're
any
gonna end
warnings.
up
No
with,
warning.
uh,
I want to have the full
Experience it.
experience. Don't take that away from me. You guys took the DeLuca thing away from me. I think that's why I wasn't so sad about it. I was like, dang it. I don't get to be sad with them because they prepared me.
I wish someone had prepared me.
I don't know that we wouldn't have felt how we felt.
Me and Amanda, we thought for sure we were in the clear when they got through that surgery. We're like, oh, thank God he's okay. And then, wait, what's happening? What's that? No, no, no,
Wait.
no.
Wait.
I mean, I think our text, if I could see, it was like, no, 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 no.
And then a whole bunch of what? The actual.
There was like I think there was silence too. Like we just stopped texting because we were just like, oh man,
Yeah.
what
Because that's
happened?
that made it worse because they made us think that he was in the clear.
Exactly. They pulled a mark. That's what they did.
You see, they didn't give us any warning like they're giving us for this next one.
Right.
There was like,
There was a little because I remember I thought Karina was going to end up dying. And then it
Did
was
you?
stupid. Yeah, I did. And then it was DeLuca and was devastated.
Oh yeah, I remember her thinking that because she's seen Karina and DeLuca like chasing after the lady, and
Yeah,
she thought
that's
that they were
right.
gonna go after Karina.
that's right. I remember that now. Because I think we were like, no, they're not, they won't kill off DeLuca.
Right?
Like,
There was no way.
He's just getting like really big. Like, no, they won't kill off DeLuca.
I miss his face.
And then boom, in your face, devastate everybody. Krista.
And that was bad. That was the first death that I've seen live that like I didn't know about. And
Me too.
I think it's the same for you guys too.
It was.
And like even though I was warned about it from you guys, like I wasn't warned enough or something. I don't know, but I was a freaking mess.
It was just a hard one. It was such a hard one.
And my thing was with it too, it seemed very unnecessary because they were doing the whole bipolar thing with him. And like they made him out to be like completely crazy pants. And then come to find out he was completely okay. And like he wasn't crazy pants. And then
No.
they just killed him off.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he was suffering from a manic episode, but
But
he
yeah,
was still,
but he's
he was
still
still right. But he
Yeah.
was suffering from a manic episode when that happened, so
But he was better.
he's gotten
He
better
was.
since that happened. Yeah.
And they didn't acknowledge the fact that he was right the whole time about everything. Which that made me mad too,
Yeah.
if we're being honest.
Well, they didn't know. I mean, they didn't know until after he was gone. I mean, I think Karina acknowledges it on Station 19, right? That she should have believed Deedman. Like, I think she acknowledged. I think it got acknowledged there and not on Gray's because
Yeah.
they
'Cause
talked about his
Bailey-
death.
Bailey was ready to like institutionalize him.
Well, I mean, he was having a manic episode. I mean, he needed like help at that moment. Even if
Yeah,
he
he
was
did.
correct, he was spiraling. So he needed help either way.
I do think that a majority of that whole storyline was on Station 19, the part where, he found the human
Yeah.
trafficker, that whole
Yeah.
climax, that was all Station 19.
Uh-huh. And
So-
afterwards, even.
I mean,
Yeah,
really-
he
the
pretty
after
much
effects,
died in Station 19.
yeah,
Well,
the
and they-
after effects
He got
of
stabbed in
that,
Station 19.
yeah,
Yeah.
the after effects of that was more Station 19. Like that's where we saw Karina really
Lose it.
grieving and
Oh, that made me cry.
I
When
mean,
she
it
started
still
just
gets brought up on Station
hitting
19.
the side of that fire truck and screaming. That was heart-wrenching.
It was
That was the only Station 19 that I watched was the one that he got killed because you guys told me I needed to watch it. And I did not watch it afterwards because I didn't want to see Karina going through that.
It took me a long time to watch the episode afterwards because I just didn't
Yeah,
know how I
It was
could.
hard. That
get
was the
through it.
hardest episode.
Yeah.
Was watching her grieve
Mhm.
afterwards. Which that's still another thing about Grace that made me so mad is Meredith never grieving with us
Right.
and her just going, yeah, I know.
Hey, Solly. Okay.
That was the most like slap you in the face
exactly.
reactions.
Because they were, I mean, like, I understand that Derek is her one true love, but like, aside from Derek, DeLuca was close to being like, I mean, he was the only other person that I would say she's ever loved. And so, I mean,
and all we got was that he's with his mother. And I was like, oh, but that's not, I figured, oh, that's not the end of it. They're going to come back to it. But no, that was it.
That was
like, I
it.
feel like after she woke up, it should have been like a realization of like, we should have seen her realize what she had seen
Mhm.
while she was there, because surely that brought out some emotion in her. Boy, we are going way back here on our discussions, but that's okay. We didn't get
That's
to
okay.
discuss this, right?
Not really. We didn't.
We weren't doing this then.
We did the whole season. Remember?
Yeah, we did. No, I was just going to talk about like at the end, like I think I'm fully on board with Meredith and Nick. Something
Oh.
about that very last scene at the end.
Yeah.
He's so cute, and I just think they make such a good couple. Like, I'm excited for it. I think.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
when they're
Yeah.
passing each other and he's leaving and she's coming, and
I like it.
I like it
'Cause
too.
I was never on board with her and Hayes. I just didn't feel like their energies. I felt like they were. I mean, God love Meredith, but like, I don't know. Like, I just felt like it would be really dull. I saw no spice
Yeah.
when they had conversations.
I don't know if I'm just stupid or if it's because of how my brain is, but it's like confusing the heck out of me with the guy who plays Nick being on You and on Grey's Anatomy.
I know.
Like, I think I'm gonna be better now that I'm done with You, but like when I was watching them both at the same time, like I was confused as hell.
Oh, I was too. And one day, so when I went to my Netflix, I just hit like continue watch, like the last thing I was watching. And I thought it was You. Well, it just turned on Grey's. It was like the new episode because like I hadn't watched it yet because I was so stuck on You. So I sat there and was watching Grey's while thinking I'm watching You. For like a good like 30 seconds probably.
I just want to comment on Shelby saying she was confused because of Scott Speedman on You and Grey's Anatomy, but it just shows my age. So when I look at him, all I see is Ben from Felicity. Yeah, Maureen knows.
Yeah.
So that's all that pops in my head. Like when I look
He
at
was
him.
great on You. He really was.
He was.
He was.
I've heard
he
seen
was
TikToks.
amazing.
He was
great on You.
Was he
was.
now?
He was. I like
Such a
him on You.
confusing title, and you guys keep using it in sentences.
And the guy Theo.
Mhm. He's from the After series.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's
And
after
Oh
series.
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
except for he's horrible in that. Like
I know. I don't like him.
he's also in Halloween Kills.
Oh, is he?
Watch. He doesn't. Well, I won't tell you. Doesn't end well for him.
Oh, it doesn't end well for him and You either.
Well, there
No.
you go.
Well,
And
yeah,
you-
it does.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Never mind.
Spoilers.
Oh,
Spoilers.
sorry.
You don't care about spoilers. What are you talking about?
I do on You. I do on
Oh.
You
I care about
Oh, one show
spoilers.
we
I
can't
haven't
talk
even started it yet.
because I feel
Oh,
like
I'm
you
sorry.
can't be spoiled that,
Oh,
or
yeah.
it's like
One
the
more.
shock is gone.
I was freaked out by the ending.
I've already seen the end, and so I'm upset. I don't know
You saw
how
the whole end.
Well, no, I know
don't
what
know how it
happens at the
happens.
end. I don't
So
know how it
shush.
happens, and I don't want to know. But I'm sad about it. Real sad.
Well, it gets cringier,
Mm.
in my opinion.
Eve, you don't watch You?
I do. I just haven't seen the most recent season.
Well, me
Okay,
neither.
so we
That's what I-
both need to shut up.
All right, guys, I think that's it for these episodes of Grey's and Station 19. Let us know your thoughts on what you think is going to happen in the episode when it returns on November 11th. Do you think someone's going to die? Who is it? We want to hear your thoughts. You can contact us at familyfanclub2021@gmail.com. Make sure to look us up on Facebook. It's Grey's Anatomy Grey Family Fan Club. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Family Fan Clubs or FB Family Fan Clubs. It's one of those. And then definitely subscribe and come back. We've got some fun episodes planned for you. We've got a Halloween special covering Fear Street coming up on Friday. And then we've got another Halloween special that'll drop on Halloween Day, recapping Only Murders in the Building. And then we've got a few other fun things planned for while our shows are on breaks here, but come back and check us out. Good night, guys.
Night.
Bye.
Bye.